Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day of the foreign All-Stars facing off against some Korean pros. This time around, it's going to be the foreign All-Stars versus Action, a Zerg player. We already saw the Terran squad take down the foreign team very easily. I don't think maybe one game went past like the 10-minute mark, so just complete domination. Of course, we're hoping that this time the foreigners can put a win on the board. So what are your thoughts on this particular series scan?
Since it's they're gonna be playing mirror matchup Zerg versus Zerg matchup on Benzene, and as we know, if a Zerg player is mining at the right side, they always gonna have the advantage with the mineral boost. So I think Action might be starting off with a good position in this particular Zerg versus Zerg matchup on Benzene.
Yeah, so a slight advantage already for our Korean superstar. Now it is a ZVZ. Our first player going at Action is going to be Gornich. Gornich has fantastic ZVZ, but definitely known for his ZVP. Now it is Benzene, and Benzene is one of those maps that has a super long rush distance. So there could be a scenario where one of these players gets ultra greedy and kind of gets caught if the other player goes for a more aggressive build. Now typically a lot of foreigners like to cheese Korean pros, so we'll see if Gornich ends up opting for that. You can see that Action's Overlord was already quite a bit faster than Gornich's, so that mineral boost coming into play. Both players, looks like that's going to be a 12 hatch.
Yeah.
Oh no, 12 pull.
Okay, so it looks like Gorinage is gonna go with the 12 as you mentioned, and Action has all those mineral boost. He's gonna always have more mineral than the opponent at the 7 o'clock, so looks like he's gonna go for 12 hatchery by Action.
So we do have spawning pool coming down pretty soon for Action. Now Gornich is going to have a slight gas lead, but his natural is going to be quite a bit slower, so he's going to be down like 1 or 2 larvas in comparison to Action. We'll see how much damage this 12 pool can do. I am really kind of surprised that he ended up going for a 12 pool on a map like Benzene, since it has such a far rush distance, but we'll see what he can use this, or how he can use this. Now both players, I'm waiting to see if Gornich is going to go lair first or speed. I imagine it has to be lair first.
I'm also curious about why he started off the spawning pool at this bottom side of the Vespin gas, because it seems like it's losing a little bit of a mining time, or does it actually help with the actually help Gornich to mine more mineral like quicker than the regular time? But looks like he's gonna be doing the metabolic boost first. Looks like this is gonna be the Zergling speed first, but Action is gonna go for the lair first. So his Zergling speed will be delayed compared to the Gornich time. Zergling speed time.
Yeah, now those lings went very close to the side of the map, so it might have been Gornich trying to sneak them across, but the Overlord definitely saw it. Now, as you mentioned, speed is coming in first. You can see he is trying to sneak around, but Action sees it again, so there's no sneakiness that Action is unaware of. Now, lair timing for Action is about maybe 10 seconds faster, really not a super big advantage for him there, but his speed is going to be considerably later. So let's see what Gornich wants to do with these links. He surprisingly only has 6 and has built drones. I'm very surprised. He's even building a creep colony. Now, this is very, very unusual.
Yeah, I thought he was planning to go with the 5:30 minute mark of a super fast muralist because he has gone with the 12 pool gas. But he went for the Zergling speed, but after making all those 6 Zerglings, he stopped making all those Zerglings and switched to a lot of drones and also adding a Sungun, so he's pretty much on the disadvantage side in my opinion, because Action can pretty much see how much of a drone Gornich has at the main base and the natural, and he can also see there's gonna be the sunken colony at the natural, so he's definitely gonna be ahead with the economy.
I'm looking for Gornich's Spire. It just now starts. Meanwhile, Action's Spire is basically halfway done. Here comes those lings that we were expecting really Gornich to be building. And Action, he has a really nice timing because there's not a lot of DPS other than these 8 lings. Now he needs to build like an evolution chamber or something to guard this sunken colony. And there it is. Now there really isn't a lot of area for Action to get in onto this sunken. He's going to be kind of blocked off on the top side and the bottom side. Gornich cancels that. Now he rebuilds it, realizing that more lings are coming across the map. Gornich scrambling to get up more and more lings. This is going to be a dangerous timing, but now I think Gornich has more than enough to hold this. So let's see if Action can get anything done with this.
Yeah, looks like Action is okay. Looks like he's not gonna overcommit. He's not gonna be going in, but it looks like one of the Zerglings will get picked off, and I don't know why Gornich is moving out. Maybe he just wanna hold it off from the bridge side. Interesting.
Yeah, an interesting move from him. Now mutas are about to finish, and Gornich's Spire still hasn't finished, and mutalists take quite a bit of time to build up. So if there is a fight with lings and mutas, you know, there's going to be no supporting cast for Gornich. That's going to be a massive advantage for Action. And Action realizes the advantage he has, so he instantly takes out that first Overlord. You can see that he had his Overlord just following it, making sure that he gets a free kill. Now, back on Action side of the map, I just noticed that he's had his gas up and running, and it's already been mined 300 gas, so a massive advantage for Action.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And all those pressure that he has done in the beginning before the Mutalisk pop, Gornich is pretty much behind with those the number of minerals that he's gonna be having, and he's not gonna be able to squeeze all those Vespene gas. He's still also stuck at 34 supply. He's in a little bit of trouble. Finally, he's gonna be using all those larvae, mixing a little bit of a Scourge, because as soon as he saw those couple of Mutalisks were moving up from Action, but looks like Action is just gonna wait for until he's gonna have 11 Mutalisk.
Yeah, he is just going to wait for critical mass. He's got a lot of Scourge built up too. He has 6 in comparison to the just 4 for Gornich, but you can see that this was just a massive, massive build order advantage because it's 9 Mutalisks to 5. Like, I don't know how Action gets up such a huge lead over Gornich. Sure, the 12 pool versus 12 patch, not ideal, but Action is completely running away with this game. He's even had an additional drone almost the entirety of the game, looking to see if either player is getting +1 armor, but neither are. So it is just going to be, as you mentioned, probably the 11 Mutalisks coming in for Action, and there it is. Now Mass Scourge also behind it. Let's see how well he can micro his Scourge. Can any of them connect? Here they go.
So this is gonna be 11 Mutalisks by Action, and he's gonna be going in with the Mass Scourges.
Oh my God.
And those Scourges are pretty much attached to the Gornich's Mutalisks, and it looks like that's gonna be the GG. He wasn't even trying to Muta micro there. Wow.
That was a complete domination from our Korean superstar. It wasn't close at any point in the game. And I don't want to say it was like a build order win, but Action really ran away with it with that opener. I was very confused at what Gornich was going for because he went for the early pool, then didn't rush lair. He got speed, but then didn't use it. It was very, very weird to me. And also, he even had similar mined gas in his main, despite getting his gas, you know, a few seconds earlier. So overall, this is one of those games where you're kind of like, what was the Zerg player actually going for with their build order?
Yeah, that was really weird. I was expecting Gornich to go with lair first so he can have all those Muta advantages compared to those 12 hatchery Muta timing. But he went for the metabolic boost first, but he wasn't really getting any return for going speedling first. So I wasn't sure what Gornich was doing.
It was very strange. Well, we'll see if our remaining Zerg player in the Foreign All-Star, Ziki, will come up with a better build order versus Action. I thought for sure that, as I said, Gornich was going to put on pressure with the link, but then he ended up not going for that. So let's see who our next player is going to be. Is it just going to be straight down the board? We're going to go Gornich, Ziki, Bonnet, the wall in that order?
What were you saying?
What's the actual order for our show match? Is it gonna be another Zerg
Oh,
player, or are we gonna switch races?
I'm not sure. I think it's gonna be random by Cruiser, so we just have to see. He's gonna be explaining soon to us. Okay, now you're in the lobby, so he'll be explaining. Yeah, look, yeah, it's gonna be random. It's a random shuffled, so I'm not gonna be spoiling who's gonna be playing.
Okay, so looks like our second game is ready. We're just gonna wait for other casters to be ready. If you guys are interested in watching the Spanish stream, there is another stream. Let me find it. It's posted in the Team Liquid thread. You can listen to Death Fate cast this and Remasterizado. Yeah, let me find it. Spanish stream link. I'm gonna post it in the Africa chat right now. Definitely. Oh, maybe not. Well, it is Cruiser. It is /Cruiser0929 on Africa. Definitely check that out if you're interested in the Spanish stream. And we are ready to get into game number 2. It's going to be Shakura's Temple Koget versus Action. So it's going to be a TVZ.
Yeah, I heard Koga is currently playing really well recently, so I wonder how well he's gonna be pulling off playing against Action.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what Koget comes up with, because Koget is one of those players that plays all types of builds. You really can't pin him down to a certain style. He likes to play the micro builds with the Wraith. You see him sometimes just go instant command center and then go into like 5-fact Goliath timing. Also plays bio, he plays all types of things. So this could be an interesting game between Action and Koget. Now, I have played Action maybe 2 or 3 times on the ladder, and generally when I play him, he goes for like a 5-minute Ling timing, and a lot of the times the Lings just deal way too much damage that I can't recover. So I wonder if he's going to go for a similar timing versus Koget, try and dwindle down that Marine count, and then go for a nice follow-up Muta attack.
Yeah, if I remember correctly how Action plays against Terran, he usually likes to make super early 10 Zerglings before the metabolic boost finishes, so he can do some amount of damage before the bunker finishes, or how I should be wording it, like maybe before the medic pops. So he likes to play aggressive in the beginning, but looks like Koget is just gonna start off with wall, and that's gonna be the 9 supply depot. Is he gonna be doing 1 base 2 port rate?
Yeah, so the wall already signals that this could be a Wraith play, especially since this is Koget playing. Now, he's also cut a Marine here, or not a Marine, an SCV. So this is going to be 10-10-10.
Whoa.
Now, of course, Action has been playing versus players that have insane Wraith control. You know, Light even uses it on maps like Ringing Bloom. So, you know, Action's going to have the perfect response here. We really do expect this to be 2-port Wraith, but I guess it could be something else. It could be something like a Vulture drop. The drop would hit before the mutas pop out, but this really does look like it's just going to be the typical Koget 2-port Wraith.
But we can, as we can see from Action's main base, he has started with the 12 hatchery, no scout, and immediately going for the extractor and then spawning pool. So it looks like this is going to be the gas first with the 12 hatchery opening. So I feel like he's going to be saving up all those larvae and starting off the lair and the speed at the same time.
So there is that factory. Factory takes, about 45 seconds, and then Starport's going to be coming in. Those take another 45 seconds, and then Wraith a similar amount of time, maybe 30 seconds. So it looks like probably around maybe like 4:45, Wraiths are going to be out onto the map. Now, Action comes in here and sees that this factory is already decently far along, so he knows that this was a very, very early gas timing for Koget. And he's going to know that he's going to need the hydrogen up quickly, otherwise he's not going to be able to hold the hydras. So overall, fantastic scouting from Action. He should have the perfect response coming in. He's going for speed. Now, this is surprising because there is no surface area on this depot, so it looks like he may be expecting there to be a Vulture run by.
Yeah, I think he was also shoving that first overlord inside of Koget's main base, and he saw that Factor was super fast. He probably made a decision that if he goes for Lair and go for Mutalisk, he might be thinking that he cannot be able to hold off that one base 2-port race. So I think he wants to play more aggressive before that 2-port raid comes inside of his main base. So it looks like the speed Zergling is about, it's almost gonna be done soon, and the speed, Hydralisk speed is also on the way as well.
Well, Action's actually just all in with this because he has no drones. He has Hydras already popping out. He's going for speed, and Koget has no idea. The starport's just finished. By the time the Wraith gets across the map, there may just be 6 Hydras at his ramp busting down that depot. He desperately needs to get a bunker up, and I think he realizes it. Now that he sees speed, he has to know that this is a timing. There's no reason for Zerg to have speed, really. It's so unlikely to face vultures with the factory this quickly. SCV's repairing that depot. As I mentioned, there's very little surface area, so that's why it was so surprising to attack that depot. But this should already be a tell that you're being all in, really, and I'm shocked that there's no depot or no bunker coming down.
Yeah, looks like Koget. Yeah, Koget also did not do SCV scout in the beginning. He does not know where Action is, but he will be figuring out that it's gonna be the Zergling speed into Hydralisk combo, but he does not have much of a Marine. Finally, the Hydralisk is gonna be, the Zergling is gonna be focused targeting on the supply depot. Hydralisk will be picking up some of the, okay, he's not picking, oh yes, he is picking on one of the SCV as well, but will he be able to defend? I am not sure.
Nope, SCV's bugged out and didn't repair at the bottom side of the depot. The bunker completes, but as I mentioned, if he had the bunker up already, he would have killed so many Lings there. Instead, it's going to be Action just pushing through. Whether he wins the game or not doesn't, or right now doesn't matter, because he's killing so many SCVs. He now has less SCVs than there are drones. Back on the other side of the map, the Wraiths are dealing a lot of damage, but he's going to lose his entire SCV line, now down below sub 10 SCVs. There it is, GG. So Koget, he falls to just a very simple timing. And as you mentioned, the no scout really hurt him because he had no idea even where Action was or what was coming.
Yeah, I think Koget wanted to play really aggressive with the 1 base 2-port raid, but Action does not want Koget to play as he wanted. So Action play more aggressive than Koget, and I'm not sure why Koget did not do any of a SCV scout, so he was completely blind in that game, does not know what Action is doing, and that pretty much caused him a loss there.
Yeah, just a bad read from Koget. And what really was sad was that SCV had surface area on the bottom side of the depot, and it just did not get into position to repair it. I still think he would have been in big time trouble, but at least he would have had 2 or 3 Marines in the bunker shelling out a decent amount of damage. Instead, only one got into the bunker because one of them fell to the Lings as they flood in. So a bit of a misstep there from Koget, but you know, that's kind of happens sometimes. So we are already into game 3, which is crazy because this cast just started, you know, less than 15 minutes ago. Next map is going to be Eclipse. Now, I'm trying to remember who picked this map versus Action. I can't remember.
Yeah, looks like the Spanish caster is having a little bit of a problem. He's not able to join our game.
Well, I did just look at the player list or the map selection choice. This should be DeWalt coming up, and that's going to be fantastic because DeWalt has been increasing his skill higher and higher and higher every single season. Actually might be the highest I've ever seen a foreigner reach lately. He's at something like 2650 on his BSL account. I don't think a foreigner has ever hit 2700. So very impressive, and this should be a good matchup. So yeah, third set coming at us. This should be, oh, it's Action versus Oyaji actually, so I take that back, but still it's going to be a PVZ, and Oyaji, one of the strongest Protoss players these days. So let's see if one of the patented Oyaji builds can work, such as his 5-gate goon build that we've seen him pull out a couple times. Alrighty, in the top right, we have our white Zerg player. It is Action. In the bottom left, we of course have our foreign all-star repping Protoss. It is Oyaji. Now, I don't know how much you've watched Oyaji play the BSL, but this guy has a really slick goon timing that he likes to use quite often. Now, I personally haven't seen it used often among pro gamers. So what are your thoughts on like 5-gate goon as a build versus the typical 5-hatch or 6-hatch Hydra play?
I personally think that Dragon opening might be a possibility, one of the strategies that can be used, because the rush distance is a bit far compared to the other 4-player map or 2-player map, I should say. Like match point has, it might seem like a very far rush distance, but the match point map is a bit far distance than the Eclipse, so I think the Dragon strategy might be able to work against the Zerg on Eclipse. But looks like he's gonna be going 9 gateway. Okay.
We do have the gateway coming up, and we are going to have a decently quick scout. Now back on Action side of the map, it looks like this was just typical.
Ooh, 9 pool.
Oh, 9 pool actually, yeah, 9 pool. So an aggressive build, and Oyaji's going to have to be careful to make sure he's always in position with his Zealot. I think we saw Oyaji have a bit of trouble letting Lings slip into his base when he was playing BSL. A lot of the Protoss players were skipping the Forge for a long time and getting up a fast Nexus. So this time around, he cannot afford to go Nexus as a follow-up after this gateway. He definitely needs to get that Forge up. You can see that a pylon block already going to the 3rd base. So Oyaji was already expecting there to be a fast 3rd hatch coming up there, but instead, this is an aggressive 9 pool opener.
Yeah, he also built a 2nd pylon at the 12 o'clock side, so as if Action wants to make a 3rd hatchery at the 12 o'clock side, he really needs.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like he has to make. He has to kill that pylon at the 12 o'clock. But Oyaji did not buy much of a time at the Action's natural. But it looks like he will be able to figure out this is going to be the 9th opening, and he'll be immediately building the Forge at the natural. So no Nexus so far.
Yeah, that probe unfortunately did not get off really any delay onto that hatch at the natural, and I realized that probe already died, so already not looking good for our Protoss player. Now here come those Lings, as I mentioned, and he's got to be very careful sneaking out this one Zealot. The micro from the Zerg player is fantastic. More Lings are coming. It's going to be 8 Lings. That means that one Zealot moving out here to try and defend it. I don't think it's going to have good success. That was a nice catch, getting one of the Lings already, but he's got to be so careful. Oh no, he's venturing out into the dangerous territory. Now he's getting surrounded.
Yeah, it looks like that one of the Zealot is going to be out of position, and Action is going to be constantly focused targeting on those gateway. Finally, oh yeah, he's going to have the cannon up, but will he be able to defend?
Oh my gosh, he loses his gate, and that means he's going to have to rebuild it, and Action is going to just start running away with this game. Sure, the Nexus is going to be on time. Sure, the 3rd base is going to be delayed simply because of that pylon, but you would be expecting the cybernetics to be coming down, relatively soon, and that's just not going to be the case. His tech is going to be so delayed that his build order is kind of already shot. I wonder what Oyaji's follow-up is going to be. Meanwhile, Action's kind of fine despite, having his 3rd hatch off center at top middle.
Yeah, I think Action is gonna be. Action probably thinks that taking 12 o'clock side is more important than taking to the bottom side, because 12 o'clock side it has total 8 mineral fields, but 5 o'clock side it has 7 mineral fields, so it is more likely to be. Or how should I say, it's better to take at the 12 o'clock side because there's more mineral fields. But looks like one of the pro will be This is gonna be his Oya's second scout, and gonna be checking out Action's main base. But we're gonna be seeing the Hydralisk then at the main base. So this is a good information for Oya. He's knowing that there's no alert tag. The Hydralisk will be popping out soon. But looks like the main, he's still struggling to deal with 2 Zerglings.
Yeah, he does have his cybernetics going down at the natural. It's already done, actually, and this scout was crucial for OUG because really, Action could have been doing anything. I'm actually surprised that he ended up going for what seems to be a 973 follow-up since he has his 3rd hatch off-center at top middle. But that's gonna be the play. Now, luckily for OUG, these Lings don't have speed coming anytime soon. And, oh wow, straight robotics. So this is going to be possibly that Sins build that we saw in ASL.
Interesting. So as soon as he figured out that that was a Hydralisk opening, Oya immediately put down the robotic facility as you said. But we don't see any Stargate, so I'm not sure about this. Does Action know that there's a robotic facility at the natural? I don't think so. Does he?
From his perspective, he would be thinking that, okay, Citadel's got to be at the natural. And this guy putting down another gate, this looks like it's going to be, just typical speed zealot. But we know that this is actually going to be a Reaver follow-up. So this may catch Action a little bit off guard.
Finally, he will be able to clear all those 3 Zerglings. It was inside of Oya's main base. And let me count how many drones Action is mining. There's 10 drone at the main and 7. So it looks like this is going to be the 10-7-3. He made an extra drone. But it looks like Oya got the Dragoon.
And this is typical OUG. Tries to always push back that Overlord. Now he's going to scramble to get up these cannons. This Forge is 100% dead. You know that the Protoss or the Zerg players these days always try and eliminate the Forge. So I think he should already cancel +1. Reaver has started. I don't see a second robotics anywhere. So it's not going to be the Sins build, at least not just yet. I haven't seen range start either for OUG. So I'm a bit worried that all he's kind of relying on is just a Reaver drop, or he's just trying to simply defend right now. But yeah, this Forge is 100% gonna die.
Yeah, that +1 attack by Oya, that is going to be cancelled most likely. Yes, he will be cancelling it. It looks like the range upgrade is done. Cannon cannot be reached to those Hydralisks, and yeah, currently Oya is pretty much blind. He totally skipped that Stargate tech, and
there's one pylon. This pylon gets taken down. All these cannons are canceled.
Yeah, he also needs to be cancelled. But it looks like Action is gonna be going. But as soon as he goes in, the Reaver pops out. But will he be able to defend? He does not have a extra. Yeah, okay. He will have the Forge at the main base, so he will definitely need to add more cannon right now. He does not know whether Action is making more Hydralisks or he's switching to pumping out a lot of drone and making more hatcheries.
Well, Action has been building simply pure Hydras this entire time, yet still, he's able to put down the 4th and 5th hatchery. It is just now going down. He's now started Lair, so you can see the power of that extra drone coming in, boosting his econ just a little bit. Meanwhile, OUG's doing a good job. He already almost has 40 probes. So his econ is coming. Now, this might be an overstep, but the Hydras instead are able to get on top of the Reaver, but they do take a decent amount of losses. So I think that was an okay trade for OUG.
Yeah, that was such a nice bait by Oya, using that Reaver, a little bit of out of position and making Action to go in, and lost quite a lot of Hydralisks. But looks like Action does not want to stand at Oya's natural, and I'm going to be pulling back all those Hydralisks.
Well, this is okay. It is exactly 40 probes. I always pay close attention to whether the players are going to continue to build probes. It's something that a lot of foreigners do, is that they consistently build an excessive amount of probes and miss their timing window. But instead, this is exactly what OUG should be doing. He's putting down a lot more gateways. He's got Templars even coming out. Now the Overlord just decides, well, I need to see exactly what this is. He sacks himself. He's going to see that the gateway timing is not at 6 or 7, so he's not, particularly scared right now, but he did miss that no DT or Templar came out, so he may just think that this is going to be a Goon Reaver timing, but we know that more of those powerful, sneaky Templar units are going to be coming out. Now back on action side of the map, Evolution Chamber has started +1 weapon himself. Spire's coming down. He has 5 hatches, and he's got a decent drone count across the board. So his econ is going to be in full force by the time OG starts moving across the map.
Yeah, both of the players pretty much going for the mid game into late game as well, but oh yeah, finally has that shuttle out. One Reaver, one High Templar with the one Dark Templar inside. That's gonna be the speed shuttle. I think he wants to do some of the harassment at 12 o'clock, but there's gonna be a couple of Hydralisks will be standing. Will he be able to do some damage? I'm not sure about this, but he really needs to be careful because he definitely does not have any information.
Yeah, he doesn't know if the Spire is done. Spire is not done just yet, and for some reason, he goes straight into the main. Oh, I thought for sure he was going to get in there. Instead, he backs off. DT unloads, and there's no Overlord in the main. Action sees it. He instantly reacts by pulling his drone, so that was a nice move there. Meanwhile, Reaver at the natural. Ooh, you got to be so careful to not die to those Hydras. The DT has already done a lot of damage simply forcing a drone pull. Now, we see that Mutas are popping out or coming out for action. Oh, he cancels them. Well,
Okay,
he's gonna build them like that.
Oh, he switched. Okay, he canceled those eggs and made extra Mutalisks at the natural side. But looks like there's gonna be the storm drop at 12 o'clock. Decent amount of damage. 5 drone picked off. And the Dark Templar as well, picking up 2. Okay, two drones, so that's gonna be the total 7 drones that he got picked up.
I actually like OUG's position quite a bit because Mutas are going to be popping out, and sure, they're powerful, but he has so many cannons already set up at his natural that I don't think that's going to have much success. This Overlord's going to get taken down maybe at the net. No, it's not. But range is going to be coming in pretty soon. He's got a lot of gates, and he's pumping out a lot of goons. If he was to morph one of these, or one set of Templars into Archons, I think he would be able to just push across the map into these goons. Here come those Mutas. That's a bit of a whip there with that storm. But not a big deal, I guess, because he still has so many left over. No, okay, yeah. Double Reaver in the shuttle. So this is a crazy strong attack that OUG is going to be having move out onto the map pretty soon. And we see that Action responding by just simply building more and more Mutalisks.
Yeah, looks like Action is not planning to add 6 hatchery and just going to be constantly pumping out more units, but Oya is ready to move out. He got all those unit combination now. Dragoons range upgrade is done by. Okay, it's gonna be done in the next couple seconds. High Templars. One of the High Templars has 150 energy. Looks like yeah, 2 other High Templars will be able to have 3 storms ready in soon. But I'm not sure how Action is gonna be defending this because he only has 9 minutes. He has to be.
Oh, can't lose that. The shuttle.
That was nice save by Oya, unloading all those Reaver before the shuttle dies. But now that Reaver is just gonna be walking towards to Action's natural. But I'm not sure how it's gonna be defending. Is he gonna be buying some time with this number of Asunkans and pump out more Hydralisks? No, he's making more Mutalisks.
This is such a horrible position for Action because there's no Hydras out in the map. Like, he can't even hit with a flank. His only way of killing this Reaver is just
oh no, High Templar!
Oh no, he's losing all the Templars! And he storms his own Reaver!
Oh no, those Reaver did not do any damage and got picked up by the Mutalisks, but it looks like he's gonna be diving into those Sunkens. But now, a +1 attack, Hydralisk is done. Mutalisks is just pretty much soaking up all those Dragon damage, and Zealots is dying to Hydralisk. Oh no, only Dragons are remaining. That's not good. I mean, Oya really needs additional Zealots right now.
What looked like was going to be a fantastic unit comp just ends up being picked apart simply by the Mutalisks. The Mutalisks one-shot all of the Templars, like 4 of them fell, while only casting a single storm. And unfortunately, OUG is easily going to be pushed back, and I was looking back at the upgrades. +2 weapon is basically similar timing for both the Zerg and the Protoss player, and you need to have armor versus Zerg these days as Protoss. So I feel like now that Action has held this one single attack, he's just going to start exploding. You can see 6 hatch going down at top middle. The only thing lacking for him is there's no hive. Everything else is fantastic. He's got great econ, he's got great drone saturation, he's got supply lead. Just fantastic position for Zerg.
Yeah, finally, action is stabilizing all those pressure that he was taking in the beginning, but now looks like, oh yeah, it's gonna be having all those pressure. There's a number of middleists are still out on the map. We'll be picking up a little bit of cannons here and there, but he still does not have Stargate. If he's not gonna be using Stargate, he really needs to get one of the dark, Dark Archon and use Maelstrom, but he's not planning to make any of a Dark Archon here.
Well, OUG's still in an okay position simply because Action hasn't taken another base. However, I think these moves outs are a bit questionable. You can see that the Overlord even sees where the Templars are because the Overlords are not being cleared out. He's sharking around again on the left side. The Mutalisks are right there. He cannot afford to lose these storms. He storms his own units, and he loses both of his own. Actually, he kills most of the Mutalisks, so that time it was okay, but he has no AoE now.
Yeah, losing all those High Templar. Okay, there's gonna be 2 more High Templars at the center, but okay, both of the players did not respond. But Oya will most likely gonna be defending that, saving that 2 High Templars because there's not enough Mutalisks. But one of the speed shuttle is flying top of the Hydralisk. Will get picked up by the Hydralisk. That is definitely not looking great.
Well, Mutalisks are going to come in to the left side and see that they really can't get much damage done. There's already cannons in position. OUG's in an okay spot. As I mentioned, he's up 15 supply. He needs to make sure he upgrades that forge. He's only gotten 1 forge, so he definitely needs to keep that upgrading. Another Templar gets picked off.
That is definitely not looking great, but looks like that 6 Mutalist is buying quite a lot of time and making... Is he making lurkers? No, I don't think so. He's just pretty much pumping out all those. Okay, now he's gonna be upgrading the lurker, and the number of Mutalisks. Oya really needs to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting it to just be non-stop Mutalisks, and now this third base is gonna be taken down. Or no, it's not. A Mutalisk turn around. So it looks like OUG's trying to push the issue since he knows the econ is not the greatest for Action. Instead, what I thought was going to be a pullback with the Mutalisks, they're just going to go straight onto the third base, and there's not enough cannons to deal with them.
Wow, the 11 minutes will be going for the trade at the 9 o'clock side, but Action?
They're not attacking.
Ooh. Yeah, Action has a lot of units on the 12 o'clock side, so it is definitely hard for Oya to break that top side. But it looks like all those number of Hydralisks will be rotated to the other side and buying quite a lot of time and making more Hydralisks at the natural as well. But it looks like Oya is going to be making a decision. So this is going to be the base trade.
Base trade, and there's no lurkers. There's a single observer though. So if even just a couple lurkers end up getting out, Action should hold as long as the observer gets taken out. Now this is not the spot you want to be in as Protoss because you're going to be flanked from all sides, and the Hydras are just chewing through these Zealots. There's a supply lead now for Action. That's a great storm in the back, but now the Mutalisks are coming to help, and I don't think there's just enough Protoss to end up dealing with the Hydra Muta combo.
Ooh, that 2 High Tempers needs to be very careful. Use Storm before it dies. Oh, one of the High Tempers will get picked off. And not much of a Dragoons. Looks like the Archon is out of place. That Mutalisk, he really wants to do some damage on that Mutalisk. Okay, looks like he is chasing that 9 Mutalisk right now. A couple of Zealots will be sneaking inside of Action's main base. But all of the Oya's army is just pretty much cleared up.
Yeah, OUG's army gets wiped out, and his main and natural are basically mined out. The main is mined out. Nat is about to be mined out, and he's expanding to a base that you really don't want to be taking as Protoss. Bottom middle, it's so far away. Meanwhile, Action's minerals are fine. His main, nat, and third, none of them are mined out, and he's got bottom right up and running. So unfortunately, this is going to be OUG falling probably pretty soon unless he can have some immaculate storms. But all game long, these Mutalisks have just been killing Templars left and right. That's going to be another one going down, another one. Just nothing going well for OUG with the Templars. And now that one's completely out of energy. He even cancels the bottom middle Nexus because he knows he can't hold it. So this is going to be his last attack. He's not mining anymore.
Yeah, Action is currently on a great spot. All those 11 Mutalisks that he's been using, Oya cannot pretty much stop it because he did not have any Corsairs. He did not make any Dark Archons as well. And those High Templars are pretty much vulnerable. Constantly getting picked up by the 11 Mutalisks.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is just way too much Zerg for our Protoss Superstar, and this is going to be the final attack. That's just way too many Hydras. Some mutas are going to kill the shuttle so fast, and Oyuchi taps out, and it's going to be a 3-0 lead for Action.
Wow. What an amazing comeback by Action that he was behind in the early game, I suppose, because he did not really end the game with the 9-7, okay, it was 10-7-3 Hydralisk opening, but he did not do much of a damage because it was a robotic facility opening first by Oya. But he managed to make the comeback by making a lot of mutas and constantly picking up high temperatures here and there, and also Reaper sometimes. But yeah, it was nice try by Oya, to be honest.
Yeah,
but Action is just pretty much better.
Yeah, Action is, I mean, there's a reason that this guy makes it into ASL every single season and goes pretty far. I was going to say that if Oyuji got into the exact same position that he was when supplies hit around 100, I think there are games where Oyuji would have won that. He just needed to play a little bit more solid. And just this time around, Action got the best of him. But I really do think Oyuji had moments where he was in a fantastic position. And if they were to play again, it could be a different result. But those Mutalisks, man, they were just killer. Like, they killed so much. They were so cost effective. Eliminating the shuttle in the early game with the Reavers. The Reavers didn't get off a single shot. You know that when he went for his initial push. Not a single Scarab went off. So our next map is going to be Benzene. And again, guys, we don't know we do know what the matchup is going to be. This is going to be the big Jip facing off versus Action. So we've got a TVZ coming at us on Benzene. Now, this is one of those maps where I think Terran is really strong versus Zerg. However, you have to be someone that can be confident playing on 4 or 5 bases and make sure that Zerg can never, ever get the center bases. And that's going to be so hard going up against somebody like Action, who has some of the best macro Zerg in the world. There's actually a game between him and Flash on YouTube's channel. It's on the Reverse Fighting Spirit, the blue map, and Action plays so well. His macro's just insane. And I feel like this might be another scenario where if Action can get 5 bases up and running, you're just going to see an onslaught of Zerg. And I don't really know how Gypsy's going to keep up. But as I mentioned, Benzene is one of the best maps for Terran. And I was watching Gypsy today. He is in a show match right now, and he was going for the Valkyrie style. And I know that is a powerful, powerful timing that can end the game at around 10 minutes before Zerg really gets up and running. So we may end up seeing that from him. For now, we are just waiting for Scan to come back, and then we will get into our next game. I'm trying to think of where we have seen Gypsy lately. We saw Gypsy in Ascension. He dominated it, but there were really not that many Zergs he had to face off against. He kind of masterminded his way through the Terrans and the Protoss players, but his Zerg, or his TVZ, is very good. However, Korean pros are on another level as far as Zerg goes. So it will be interesting to see the difference in skill in the early stages, especially. Now, just like we saw on Shakuras, there is options to go for Hydra Bust. And I know that Gypsy has kind of come around to my comments about walls being very good. So we may see a wall off at the natural, and we may see another attempted Hydra Bust. And, Benzene allows you to get up a mineral only as Zerg. Sure, it's not the best base, but at least it's additional income for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Ling Hydra bust. Okay, it looks like Scan's not going to be here for... Looks like Scan's AFK for a moment, so we're gonna just wait a couple minutes. We were gonna go solo, but Scan's the one streaming. I can't control the camera, so we will just wait for Scan for him to come back. And then we will get into Gypsy versus Action. Well, guys, I'm gonna start bringing up Spawn Bong and see the stats on Benzene in particular. If you guys have not used Spawn Bong, you should definitely check it out. It's a really good site, keeps track of so many statistics. Let me see if I can find Action among the list of Zergs here. Okay, so I have found Benzene, and actually, I'm surprised at this statistic because it says that Benzene has a only 45% win rate versus Zerg. Now, that's still a good win rate. However, you would expect that to be the win rate for Zerg versus Terran on this particular map, because this feels like a map where you get fast 2 bases as Terran can't really be punished. So I'm a bit shocked at the win rate, that Zerg has a favorable win rate. And it could be simply because of what I just said, where anytime they wall, there is a real chance that Terran just instantly loses. And that kind of forces players to not have the option to go for, delayed mech while also skipping a lot of Marines, or skipping a lot of Marines to go Valkyries. But that is a little bit surprising to me. However, bottom left in particular is a great spawn for Terran because you can pop out Marines on the backside. They're not going to pop out on the top, or they're not going to pop out on the wrong side like they do on top right. You also have the option to wall off completely the main, and it does give you the option to go for 2-port Wraith. And I know that Mihai or Gypsy has experimented with that a little bit, so we may also see that. But yeah, this is a bit surprising because I feel like any map where Terran can somewhat split easily, especially a 2-player map, that should favor the Terran because they just always trade so effectively.
Thank you for waiting. I'm back.
You're back. Okay. So
yeah, I'm feeling much better now.
Oh, that's good. So we are ready, I think. And we're going to be getting into Gypsy versus Action on Benzene.
Gypsy versus Action? Ooh.
Yeah, I was just looking at map statistics, and Benzene only has a 45% win rate for Terran. Did you know that it was favored for Zerg?
Benzene?
Yeah, Benzene.
I do agree with the statistic information because it is definitely hard for Terran to defend Mutalisk harassment in the beginning, because as you know, the behind of the natural side, there's a little bit of a path that you have to have floating units or have a vision on it in order to defend your natural SCV. And there's a lot of spaces that mutants can be used and constantly harass Terran's main base.
Yeah, it is quite annoying, but a lot of players these days are going for that Valkyrie build, and it kind of just shuts down Mutalisk really hard. And I know that Gypsy has been playing it a little bit, so I wonder if he's going to go for that. Now, as I mentioned, there are clear spawn advantages for Terran on this map, and bottom left is the advantage, or the advantage position. So Gypsy getting top right means walling off is not going to be the ideal move because Marines just pop out on the wrong side. So a bit unlucky there, and Action again on Benzene is going to get the favorable spawn. Now, Action, what does he want to opt into? What's this?
Ooh, what is this?
He's not building an Overlord. He's not building a pool. Okay, there's the pool. And he's scouting real fast.
Wow, so... Okay, this is an interesting mind game by Action because... usually when Terran is playing a map or like a map that they can wall off at the natural, they usually build a supply depot at the natural and start walling off, even if you have a bad position like 1 o'clock as you mentioned. So Action is doing a little bit of a mind game here. He's gonna be doing 9 scout with the 9 pull, so it's just pretty much making Gypsy to think, hey, I'm doing 9 drone scout into 12 hatchery, but this is gonna be the 9 pull follow-up.
Yeah, I think that this 9 drone scout is also intended to just force SCVs off the line in case there was a wall, and that delays the racks, you know, even just a couple seconds. And that means a Marine that pops out is instantly going to get picked off. Now, this drone is already super annoying, taking down one of the SCVs down to 15 health. This other SCV is already getting dangerously low. It's at 27. So already, Gypsy in a not favorable position. I think that this SCV might die.
Ooh.
And every second matters for this barracks because we know that Lings are going to be coming out. And behind this is going to be a gas opener for Mihai or for Gypsy.
Yeah, looks like Gypsy has to respond with the scouting SCP. He realized this is a 9 pull opening into a hatchery.
He's going to be supply blocked because he skipped his depot.
Oh, what is this? Okay, we were not paying attention. He was making the refinery at the main base. Okay.
Everything is going wrong for Mihai. He doesn't realize he's still mining Terran gas. Okay, now he transfers, but as no, the Marine. Okay, thank you.
I think it could be better to cancel that SCP production and make an extra Marine, but it's just gonna stay with the single Marine against that 6 Zerglings.
Yeah, he got blocked and he only has a single Marine now, and it's going to be 6 Lings versus 5 SCVs and 1 Marine. The Marine's a little bit out of position. Action doesn't care about one Marine. He's going to try and focus down these SCVs. Oh no, he might just instantly die. Oh my gosh. Lings are going to be in the main, and Factory just started.
Oh, that is definitely not looking great. If he was able to cancel that SCP production and made a second Marine, it could have been having a better result to defend this 6 Zerglings. But now he cannot finish that factory. Second Marine will get picked up and more SCP will getting not going to be mining and losing more time.
Yep, this game is unfortunately already over. Hydrogen is going to be the follow-up, so that means that the tech play is going to deal no damage. These Lings have killed a catastrophic amount of SCVs, and as you mentioned, the SCV production had to be cut there. 2 Marines would have dealt with the Lings just fine. Now instead, Gypsy's on an even worker count versus a Zerg that's going to have Hydras on his doorstep, and he has no counter to the Hydras. I mean, this is the one way that Action can throw because the Hydras have to deal a lot of damage, right? Like, this is not what you want going into the mid game. There's no lair, there's no tech at all. But I just don't see there being any kind of... Wow, he's going Starport, so he's just basically all in with this.
Yeah, Gypsy has lost a lot of SCV when he was defending the 6 Zerglings, so Gypsy knows that he cannot really go for the macro game, so he's going to be starting with the 1-1-1 opening with the 1 vulture into a machine shell. So I think he wants to make some of a return with those vulture harassment by the drop at the main base of Action's main base. So I think that is his main goal. But a couple of Action's army, it is sent towards the 10 o'clock side. I think he's going to rotate some of the army.
Yeah, so 1 Hydra and 2 Lings are going to sneak around the side of the map, and these Marines are just going to get picked off. and there's no vultures are now starting to come out of the factory. There's no add-on for the starport. There's no dropship. Floated racks. Well, that's not going to help our Terran player at all. And Mihai's going to be like, how the hell did these units get across the map? Didn't I scout? And he's just going to lose everything.
Yeah, he realized that there's gonna be the Hydralisk speed at the 9 o'clock side. He knows that something is coming. He will be building a bunker at the high ground, good respawn. But only a single Marine inside of the bunker. That is not gonna be enough to hold against that 3 Hydralisks incoming. We have seen that same situation where Koget was defending Action's Hydralisk, but he really needs more. He really needs more Marine right now.
Yeah, so this looks basically like a repeat of the Koget game where you have a bunker, but you gotta have actual units in it. Otherwise, the Hydras just run by. And unfortunately, Gypsy is just gonna be taken down very quickly. And it's all because of that drone harassment. He really forgot his second depot.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake when he was organizing that build order in the beginning. And if he realized that second supply depot was really late, then he should have been cutting that SCP production and make a second Marine, so he will be able to hold off that 6th Zergling in the beginning. But things did not work really well for Gypsy.
And knowing Mihai, he's going to be kicking himself after that game because whether he wins or loses, sure, he wants to win, but he definitely doesn't want to lose in that fashion because that was just complete catastrophe. So now we're going to already be into game 5. We're almost halfway through the best of 9. And the only game that's been close is Oyaji getting up to the 20-minute mark. And there was, as I said, I think if Oyaji plays that game, 5 different times, there could be different results each time. So let's get into our next matchup. It is going to be on Sylphid, and it is now going to be Action versus Ziki. Ziki has some of the best muta control in the foreign scene. So if he can get there, we'll see how effective his mutas are going to be. We know that Action already just slammed Gorinich. We are ready.
Yeah, so it's going to be the mirror matchup, Action versus Ziki on Neo Sylphid. I'm excited to watch this game because Ziki, isn't he like a top, isn't he the top 2nd or 3rd best Zerg out on the outside of Korea?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. People were telling me for a long time he was the best Zerg, and his muta control is definitely top tier. So if he can get to that stage of the game and not be at a considerable build order disadvantage like we saw Gorinich, I think there is a world where he can put up a good showing versus Action. But of course, Action is top of the top. Like, he's amazing. So it's going to be very hard for Ziki to get a win here. I'm curious what Ziki's going to go for, because Evolution Chamber style with the Spore Colonies is somewhat popular. I see it way more often than I did, 10 years ago. So I wonder if he's going to go for that, or if Action is going to be the one that goes for that.
Yeah, looks like Ziki is going to be spawning at the left side. So he's gonna be having the scouting advantage compared to Action's Overlord scout. Action's gonna be sending the first Overlord towards the 12 o'clock side, and Ziki's also sending his Overlord to the natural, so 5 o'clock natural. So he's gonna be seeing Action's main base first and see what he is doing, how many Zerglings he's going to be making, and how many drones he's gonna be making when he's switching to muta attack. But looks like it's gonna be the gas first by Action.
Yeah, so gas first by Action. I think that generally tends to be something like an 80 gas advantage or so. We'll see what Ziki wants to opt for. And when both players went for the Overlord, I thought we might see a hatch opener from both sides, but it looks like Action's now just going to start going into a quick lair. Never mind, a quick lair, but take that back. Ziki's also going to match the pool timing. Still no gas for him though, but you can see he has a lot more drones mining minerals right now.
Yeah, finally Ziki is going to be building the extractor. It looks like this is going to be the 12 pool opening into an expansion, just like the first game where we have seen Gorinich versus Action. And Yeah, I think Action is planning to do Zergling speed and the lair attack at the same time, or is this gonna be not making any Zergling speed and just go for Zergling wall up at his choke, the narrow choke, and go for super fast Mutalisk.
Yeah, I think that's the move. He's gonna build the lings, leave them at the choke, maybe sneak out 1 or 2 to go for a backstab at some point, get into the drone line, but really use the arc advantage that he has, and then really go into a superior muta count. Now, Ziki's hatchery is started at his natural. Back in the main of Ziki has pulled off of gas, one off of gas, and he's going to be going for speed. So he's going to try and bulldoze his way in to Action's main. The Overlord, as you mentioned, it is going to get a first scout off, and Ziki's going to see exactly what he's up against.
Yeah, looks like Action is gonna be making more Zerglings, and he's also making the metabolic boost. The Zergling speed on the way, so looks like it's about 50% done. So that Zergling speed is gonna be much quicker than Ziki's Zergling speed, but he's gonna be having all those advantage side of defending with those number of larvae, making more Zerglings before those Zergling will arrive to Ziki's natural. But the lair attack is really slow.
Yeah, Ziki's lair is considerably behind, and he even pulls all of his drones off of gas except for one. Spire starts when the lair starts for Ziki, so that's just how far ahead Action's tech is. But Action's going to have a lack of lings. Sure, he has a decent amount right now, but now that the natural has started to kick in, Ziki's pumping out more and more lings. Action's going to have a fantastic drone drill. He also needs to get up a sunken pretty soon. The Overlord, luckily, or I thought it was going to intercept the lings, but for now, Action really doesn't know if Ziki's attacking or not. Oh, he now sees them coming.
Yeah, looks like a couple of Zerglings will be sending towards the Action's base, but Action already has enough Zerglings, and that Zergling lineup is really looking pretty. And there are some of the Zerglings standing at the 12 o'clock side. He's always gonna be ready to backstab at Ziki's main base whenever those Zerglings leave Ziki's natural base. But the Spire's gonna be done in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah, and this is the style that I always love to see in ZVZ. It's going to be Action being aggressive with lings and trying to create an opening with his Mutalisk. And Ziki, he's got a lot of drones, but he needs to get an evolution chamber up, man. Like, I still don't see an evolution chamber. Mutalisks are coming right now. They're about to pop out. Okay, spores have started. Where's the evolution chamber? Okay, there it is at the natural. So this might be a fantastic timing for Ziki. Here come those lings that Action was saving. Instant response from Ziki. He still loses one drone though.
Yeah, I think he could have saved that drone, but he lost that drone, unfortunately. But the 4 Zergling is still buying a lot of time. Looks like Action does not want to stand those Zergling at the narrow choke, and he's gonna be expending.
Okay, well, those spores need to start morphing. They are morphing in the main, but only one at the main and natural. Meanwhile, Ling counterattack by Ziki could get a cancel onto this hatchery. That'd be fantastic, but that means there's a lack of lings at the natural right now.
Yeah, I think this is a good trade for Ziki if he's able to defend. But looks like Action is gonna win that Zergling fight.
Yeah, I can't believe that Action just wins the fight with just pure lings. Mutalisk never came. They just stayed back in the main for some reason, and they clean up the lings easily. Now, drones are being forced back into the main. That spore that was going to go up at the natural of Ziki has turned into a sunken. That means that the Mutalisk can just reign supreme. No, he's going to focus down the Spire.
Oh no.
Ziki falling. He has nothing to deal with Mutalisk at this point.
Yeah, the number of Mutalisk is so huge now. It's gonna be 6. That spore is gonna be taken down. If it's gonna be only one spore at the main base, I think Action is just gonna end the game here now. It's also peeling up that HP right now, lower it down to 250, and now 6 Mutalisks will be diving in and pulling back one of the Mutalisks that was taking the damage. And it looks like Zeke is gonna be giving up that main base and go for the base trade now.
Yeah, it's his only move, and Action knows it. He's prepared. He's building a sunken. It's in a really tight position. Lings are coming out. There's already one Mutalisk sitting here too, so it's going to deal out a lot of damage. And we can see that Action's just focusing down that layer, so that's going to fall. Probably a hatchery block with the drone there by Action. Nope. Instead, this is going to be Ziki's last stand. He's going to try and get on top of that Spire and the Sunken, but there's just way too much defense. The drone drill's fantastic, bugging out the AI.
Yeah, looks like that's not gonna be enough. Not enough Zerglings to finish off the sunken colony, and the main base is going to be fall. Yeah, it's going to be fall. It looks like Ziki does not want to keep up the game. There's gonna be GG.
Yep. So another player down. We're now past the halfway mark. It's 5-0 for Action. Every game has been less than 10 minutes except versus Oyaji. He's just taking down people left and right so quickly with just decisive attacks, focusing down the Spore, attacking head-on Ling versus Ling despite being one hatch versus two hatch because he knows that half of the Lings are across the map. Just really great decision making from Action, leaving the mutas behind too to make sure he doesn't die to a counterattack. Just fantastic.
I totally agree.
I'm looking at who we have remaining. We've got the two superstars, of course, Boneth and DeWalt, and then we have one of the Terran superstars, Terror. But it just seems like Action can't be touched.
Yeah, Action is playing more aggressive than how Foreigner was prepared. All those foreign players wanted to take the advantage by playing aggressively, but Action does not want them to play aggressively. Action is just pretty much playing more aggressively than the foreign players, and pretty much messing up the game and ruining their strategy pretty much.
Yeah, so our next matchup is going to be Ultra versus Action. Now, Ultra in BSL, he's a consistent player to make it into round of 24, round of 16. His TVT, he has the most success, I think, in BSL. TVZ, I'm not too sure I've seen him play many games. So I'm a bit worried for him versus a Zerg player. If this was TVT or TVP, I think it would be okay, but TVZ a whole different beast. Now, luckily for him, I will say luckily for him, he's got cross spawns, so it's going to make it a little harder for Action to have success. However, he got one of the worst spawns. He got bottom right. Turret placement is not ideal in this spot.
Yes, because the comms station is going to be added to the right side of the command center, and once you start adding the comms station, your SCP is starting to mine the mineral really weird. And it's also hard to build extra or build missile turret to defend the Mutalisk harassment. But it looks like this is going to be played off at the fighting spirit. So, if we just by look at the stat-specific information, Terran has the advantage against the Zerg on fighting spirit because the rush distance is so close that they can pressure Zerg before they get all those Mutalisk pop. So I'm not okay, we're gonna be seeing supply at the main base, and once again Action is gonna be starting off with the 9 pool opening first.
Yeah, so it looks like Action just realizes that a lot of the foreign players are not able to keep pace with his micro and also his multitask behind it. So I don't blame him for going for another aggressive opener. Gas come down, it's just going to be one of the gas glitches, get an extra drone. It's not going to be an aggressive 9 pool speed opener. Also, you have to be in the mindset also of Action, because I know that a lot of foreigners, when they play a superior player, like a considerably superior player, a lot of them feel like, oh, well, the only way I can win is cheese. So I'm not surprised to see a pool opener from Action at all. We see that Ultra's not going for something like an 8 Rex. He's not going for an aggressive build. So everything's going to be fine and dandy for him. Also, no gas this time, so unlike Gypsy, this should just be standard command center follow-up.
Yes, that is correct. And it looks like it's gonna be the 10 drones, 10 scout by Action, and he's gonna be morphing the hatchery. After that, 6 Zerglings is going to be popping out. Okay, it is popped out. I'm gonna be making the hatchery, but Ultra really needs to do the scout really fast right now. He does not have any information. Is he building the second supply depot? No, he's not building the second supply depot. So it looks like it's gonna be looking a bit same. How Gypsy was having a trouble. Does he know? Okay, I don't think he sees that 6 Zerglings, but he needs to realize that 6 Zerglings is now coming.
Well, this game might already be over because Lings are about to be on his doorstep, and there's no SCV reaction at all. Luckily,
oh my god!
Oh gosh, and that's gonna be a cancel command center at minimum.
Yeah, those Marines are out of position. Finally, pulling a couple of SCVs, but he really needs to defend this really nicely. But oh no.
Well, one of the Lings already got on top of that back Marine, so that's gonna be, oh, that's a good SCV block right there, but already the damage is done. It's gonna be 2 Marines down, multiple SCVs have already fallen. I'm surprised that the command center didn't get canceled just yet, so I guess that's the saving grace for Ultra so far, but that SCV is gonna be taken down. Meanwhile, back on action side of the map, the SCV got taken down by 2 Lings, and really didn't get to scout much other than he's mining gas.
That is right, and it looks like action is gonna go with the 2 hatch. Okay, he's gonna go for the 2 hatch there, not the Zergling speed all in. And yeah, Ultra defend that 6 Zerglings nicely done, but he lost quite a lot of SCV, and the worker count is gonna be even right now. That is not gonna be looking great for Ultra.
Yeah, Ultra's in big time trouble, and then he's also having to pull off 3 additional SCVs just to live. Bunker is going to complete. You never want to be building a bunker really this fast in the game unless you have to. So action just at an amazing advantage. I was actually coming back to his natural, hoping to see something like a lurker bust, but looks like he is just going to go straight into Mutilus. There's no Hydrogen anywhere. Second rack's coming up for Ultra. Refinery has started, Academy has started, but these timings are like at least 45 seconds late, so action just in an amazing position.
I was looking at closely to Ultra's build. He was cutting a lot of SCV. He was trying to get that second racks and the refinery and the academy, everything really fast without making much of SCV. He's right now, I don't know, this is pretty much empty at the main base. Only 7 SCVs are mining the mineral, only 6 at the natural. This is like how Zerg players used to be doing.
Well, I don't mind Ultra going for this because he knows he's in a horrible position. He may as well try and get something done with fast upgrades or for potential busts. But this is cross spawn. It's not like it's horizontal or vertical spawn, so he can't even get across the map that quickly. So I am a bit surprised that he rushed the double racks instead of just rushing the academy to get his upgrades, because even though he has the academy, he just now starts stem, and it was kind of just sitting there idle for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, action, he's got his 3rd hatch going up at mid left. There's no way that's getting scouted, and I don't think that really Ultra's going to be able to punish it at all, even if he did scout it, because Mutilus is going to be coming out pretty soon.
It looks like action is not going to be getting that Zergling speed because he started with the 9 pull, and if he was affording that 100 gas for the Zergling speed, he won't be able to morph that 3rd hatchery at the 9 o'clock site. So I think that could be the reason why he did not get it. And he also needs to build a sunken colony, but it looks like he's not going to be building a sunken colony. The Eminem is already going to be moving out.
Well, he sees it's only 7 Marines. And Zerg doesn't care about 7 Marines. That's almost no DPS. And we see that it is going to be +1 weapon as a follow-up for the Zerg. So action just wants to go really hard on the Mutilus, and he's going to have success definitely with spawns at bottom right for Terran, because as we mentioned before, the turrets are not exactly ideal. Now, Ultra stemming across the map, this was actually a pretty fine move, but the medics are out of position. They don't heal at all. It's going to be the Marines just getting wiped out completely.
Yeah, action is just going to be having that 6-meter loop, and he's just going to be clearing that 7 Marines super easily. And now Ultra is in trouble. He's currently stuck at 2 racks macro, and he also does not have any missile turret right next to the barracks.
Yeah, how do you stop this now? You can't defend your racks. Even if the Mutilus don't attack the Marines, they can just bounce shots off the barracks forever. Kill units as they pop out.
Oh
6
no.
coming in. Those will one-shot Marines. More should be syncing up pretty soon. Yeah. Well, actually, Action's not going hard on the Mutalisk. He's got lurkers coming in at his third base on mid left.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna be showing a couple of Mutalisks and just pretty much forcing Ultra to make a lot of missile turret, and looks like he wants to do a 3 gas lurker all in from here.
Yeah, we'll see what he wants to go for, but it does look like it's just gonna be mass lurkers. I don't see a hive or queen's nest anywhere, so this is probably gonna be like 10 lurkers comboed with lings and mutas, and Ultra just now starts his factory. So he either scans this and builds mass bunkers, or he's dead.
I totally agree. It looks like Ultra has built a lot of missile turret just to defend us 6. Okay, he's gonna be having 7 minutes, so yeah, that seems like that's a lot of missile turret. He was probably thinking it's gonna be a lot of Mutalisks gonna be harassing at Ultra's base. We're hearing a couple of scan here and there. Looks like he used scan at the 1 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. Nice trying to guess, but that's totally wrong guess. But something is gonna be coming soon. I don't think Ultra knows about this.
Yeah, lurkers have started morphing in the center of the map. He's got about 4 right now. More and more Hydras are moving across the map too. So as I said, this is going to be almost 10 lurkers. It looks like it's going to be 8 actually. And there's 1 bunker. And as I said, you either scan this and build mass bunkers, or you're basically dead.
Oh no, he lifted his factory!
Oh, yep, he's done. And there's no bunkers either. So this is going to be Action. Really just, oh, he scanned and he saw that Hydras and Lings are coming. So maybe he builds bunkers, but it looks like he's not going to build bunkers just yet.
He just used that to scan at the Action's natural and the main base. He does not see any other tech just except that Spire tech. So he might be just thinking that this is pretty much a Mutalisk all in, but he does not know about this lurker.
Oh, here it comes. This is going to be the game-ending blow. All the Marines are in the main also, because they're trying to deal with the Mutalisk. So there's 1 bunker versus just an overwhelming amount of Ling, Lurker, and Mutalisk.
Oh no, it's going in.
Yeah, this is just going to be complete destruction. No way that the Marines can engage these Lurkers at all. And at minimum, this is going to be Ultra just losing his mat. Oh my god, look how fast the Marines die. And he just waltzes in with the remaining Mutalisk. He's going to pick off the science vessel, the starport, the science facility, the starport. He just sits over the barracks. And this is going to be GG. And Action is going to go up 6-0 versus our foreign superstars.
Yeah, looks like Action does not want to go for the late game. He's trying to end the game here, but the barracks side, he cannot actually get all those Marine out now because all those lurkers and the Zergs are not coming, and Ultra's gonna be tapping out. That's gonna be the GG. Wow, that was an insane.
Yeah, that was a really strong attack from Action, and this is what happens when you give superior players even a slight lead. They will just come and kill you. And Ultra was preparing for, going into the mid and late game, but he just read the situation wrong. He didn't see a hive. He didn't see Queen's Nest. You gotta build bunkers, man. You just have to. And unfortunately, he got caught. Was not able to get up his vessels in time. Was floating his factory, as you mentioned too.
Yeah, Ultra did not get those information correctly. He does not know those lurker was coming. If he was going 1 factory with the 1 starport, it could have been a much better result with an extra bunker if he was able to make. But he misread the information. He was thinking that it was a Mutalisk all in, and did not realize that there was going to be the lurker bus.
Alright, well, this is probably the matchup that everybody wanted to see, because now it is going to be Action versus DeWalt. DeWalt crushing it these days. Actually, there was a post on Team Liquid a couple days ago, or was it even a day ago, where Russ Brain posted all the statistics that DeWalt has versus the pro gamers, and actually DeWalt has gotten a few wins versus Action. So there is a potential that we could finally see a win put on the board for our foreign team. Now, what do you think about PVZ on this particular map?
PVZ on a polypoid, I think it's somewhat similar looking, but it's a more better result for the Protoss player. I mean, how should I word it? The polypoid is kind of a macro concept map, just like how it used to be used in a circuit breaker. So usually when you're taking the third expansion, you take the mineral expansion first, and then the fourth expansion is going to be the gas expansion. And very similar looking, just like a circuit breaker, but circuit breaker usually Zerg can pretty much abuse with those pathfinding and those terrain and the bridge side. But this polypoint map, there's no bridge. It's much easier to move out and easier to make the SimCity at the natural as well. So I think it's a better to play on a polypoint than playing on a circuit breaker. So I think DeWalt will be able to pull off some nice game.
Yeah, I actually really do like polypoid for Protoss here. You can get, high ground third base, even if it is just a mineral only. Fourth and fifth base are pretty close. It is a great map for Protoss players. But when you're playing versus a Zerg that can manage, half the map, can manage 15 hatcheries, it's going to be still very, very hard. But I do like DeWalt's chances on this particular map. A Forge Opener. I was wondering what he was doing, queuing up so many pros, because we never see this anymore. It's always gate expand, but instead he's going for a Forge Opener. Maybe there was communication in the chat between the foreign players that, hey, Action's just playing aggressive, and if he's just playing aggressive, if I just go for a straight cannon opener, go up into a safe opener, get my Nexus up and running, maybe that can get me into the mid game in a good position.
Oh,
it's gonna be a cannon rush.
Yeah, looks like Action is gonna be pulling that scouting drone back to his natural. I think he's gonna be doing the gas trick. Is he gonna be doing the gas trick? No, he's not gonna be doing the gas trick. He's gonna be jumping over that mineral field with those glitching. Oh wow! Oh my god! Wow! Oh! Wow! I'm actually surprised how Action made that probe. Getting out of that pylon block. That was interesting. So nice try by DeWalt. It is unfortunate to see that 12 hatchery opening by Action, and DeWalt started with the Forge first into another Nexus. So definitely this is not looking great for DeWalt in the beginning.
Well, Action doesn't know what this actually was. Sure, he saw the pylons, but this could have just been a fake to force out the drones. So still, Action kind of not completely sure. Like, he should be expecting that, hey, this was probably a Forge expand, but not necessarily. Now the Nexus went up at a decent timing. Meanwhile, Action is taking mid-right, and he has now just started his gas. So everything looks like we're probably going to see like a lair follow-up from him, because this doesn't look like typical Hydra gas timing.
I think Action knows that was a Forge opening first. He only made 2 Zerglings, and he was also saving up those larvae just to make sure whether this is a gateway opening first or Forge opening first. So he realized that none of the Zealots were coming inside of Action's main base, so he did not make extra Zerglings. And it looks like it's going to be starting with the Hydralisk then again. Wow.
So he is actually going to go into that 9-7. I really thought that this was going to be a lair opener, but instead, looks like Action just has a plan for the foreigners, and the plan is, I'm just going to end them. If I see any slight advantage, I'm going to take advantage of it and go for a killing move. Now that gateway seems very far forward, and that's definitely going to get picked off. Now back on the DeWalt side of the map, unlike in the Oyoji game, his cybernetics is quite far along. It's going to finish, so at least he's going to have his tech available. But other than that, like, there's...
Ooh.
Oh, he's going straight range?
Yeah, he's gonna make a dragon range. I think I heard a couple of Protoss players, they like to go with the gun range first against the no lair tech Hydra opening. I'm not sure what's really good about this, but couple of cannons in the beginning, they will buy some time until those Dragoon range finishes. Then once Protoss starts to have lots of Dragoon, they can pretty much hold that Hydralisk aggression, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to think, okay, what's the reasoning here? And I was thinking, okay, well, you see that cannon that's already built. You can't build a cannon directly behind it, but you could fit a goon. So if the Hydras come in range, the goons can actually just dish out additional damage. So I can see that, but other than that, I'm kind of confused by this. Also, it's only one gate, so it's not like there's going to be an excessive amount of goons. Goons can also shoot from the high ground also, so that could come into play. But Action's not all in with this. He's got 4th hatch coming up. He's going to have his 5th hatch coming in pretty soon. Oh, you cannot lose an Overlord. That's for sure.
Overlord will get picked up. Okay. Sacrificing one of the Dragoon. But now Action is getting supply block.
Yeah, so I think that was an okay trade for DeWalt because, as you mentioned, supply block is going to be a big deal, but he's going to lose his gate, and that means that more goons are not going to be able to come out for quite a while. But what this range upgrade does is it delays all the tech for DeWalt. Like, there's no Citadel, there's no Stargate. Like, he has units that he could build cells out of these gateways, but like they don't help at all because they don't have speed. And we know he's not going to do that because he already has range. This is an interesting follow-up. I've actually never seen this.
I think I have seen this kind of a case where it was played on the poly point. It was Best versus Suxry, and Best was located at the 5 o'clock side. He built a couple of cannons and started made it a lot of Dragoons. And this is a somewhat similar looking case, but looks like Action is not gonna go with the all-in. He has a 4th hatchery now.
It doesn't look like it, but at the same time, it looks like he is, because if you look at the drone count to the probe count, this is a massive lead for DeWalt. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. I think I know what Action is doing. So, Action is pretty much hiding his extra Hydralisk. He's just showing off a couple of Hydralisks in the front with the only 8 Hydralisks, and just pretty much dealing off with that 3 Dragoons. He does not know what's coming. He does not have Stargate, just like how Oya was playing in the beginning.
Oh, now he knows. And these Hydra's going to come in. DeWalt's going to have to pull all of his units. There's not that much DPS. The cannon's going to fall so fast. There's also no goons on the high ground to help dish out some damage onto the Hydralisk. All the cannons are going to fall, and this is going to be DeWalt falling. There's just way too many Hydralisks.
Wow, what a great way to execute. Super fast, and just pretty much doing some of a mind game, showing a couple of Hydralisks at the front, and hey, I'm going for the late game transition, but it wasn't a late game transition.
Yeah, and the cannon goon combination that I thought would be pretty good in theory just did not come to fruition. None of the goons were able to sit on the top side of the ramp and just dish out additional damage for free. I don't think it would have mattered. There was just way too many Hydras, but the theory was good. Looks like the gateways were just slightly too late. Action was, even though he had 4 hatches quite all in there, you could see it reflected in the work count. It was 23 drones to 40 probes. That's crazy. Crazy difference there. So unfortunately, you could argue the best player in the foreign scene just fell so quickly, simply to like one attack. And now all that's left is Terror and Bonnet.
Yeah, Terror and Bonnet. No, I think it's not Bonnet.
It's not Bonnet? Yeah. We haven't seen Bonnet yet.
Oh, okay, I see Bonnet in the list, so never mind. I was wrong. So, Terror and Bonnet, they really need to do some work at the behind. And maybe win at least one of the game. We would like to see foreign all-star winning at least one of the game and showing how good they are.
Yeah, so this is gonna be Polaris Rhapsody. This is an ASL map right now. It was on the ladder and played quite often in the past, but I don't know how much practice Terror is gonna have on this map. Now, Terror is one of those players where map doesn't necessarily matter because he pulls out so many different builds. I'm thinking back to a game of Terror versus Larva on Tau Cross, where he floated a factory into Larva's main, then followed up with an all-in Marine medic timing. I think you could do the same thing if you build a factory at the bottom side of the map, float it in there, and then go for a follow-up somewhere, or follow-up Marine medic attack. We could see a repeat victory, potentially for Terror. That SCV already moving has given away that this is going to be shenanigans. Now, unfortunately for Terror, we've seen action open, what, with 9 pool almost every single game versus Terran?
Yeah, he pretty much did. Except one of the game. Didn't he do 12 hatchery one of the game? I forgot. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think he did. And this looks like it could be a proxy factory follow-up after this 8 racks. So the question is when this 100 minerals hits, right now, is it an Overlord? And it's not. And if this is me playing Terran and I scout a pool first or see Lings out on the map when I have 8 racks, I'm already out of the game because it's just so hard to recover. But there it is. So I don't want to call GG, but at the same time I do, because this is such a bad position for Terran.
Yeah, Terrace is going to be making the 4 barracks. Proxy 8 racks at the 6 o'clock site, but unfortunately, that's a rock, paper, scissors mind game loss. Action is just going to be starting off with 9 pull once again. And I'm not sure how Terrace is going to be defending this 9 pull at the main base. There's going to be the base trade.
The only real world real scenario for Terror winning this game is like bunkering the minerals, and then Action can't mine. That's it, really. I think if Terror is gonna play this opener, he has to wall his ramp, but he didn't. He built a depot right next to his command center, and
I'm also wondering whether Terra can wall the 5 o'clock, the narrow choke with the 2 supply depot. You know, like some maps you can wall off the entrance with the 2 supply depot. I wonder if you can do this on the 5 o'clock side, but Terra will not be able to have enough minerals to do that, so it looks like he's going to be realizing this is going to be the 9 pool opening, and that is not looking great.
Yeah, this is panic mode for Terror, and as I mentioned, it was looking like this was going to be a factory follow-up, but unfortunately for Terror, this was an early pool opener, and there's just simply no counterplay really when you go for an 8 racks. It looks like he's going to build up his Marine count while Action counters across the map, but it's going to be so hard to defend 6 lanes with just 1 Marine. We've seen players try and do it all day long, first Gypsy, then Ultra, and neither player's had success. There's the factory. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not a floated factory, but if he can sync it up with a decent amount of Marines, Vulture Marine combo will be very strong. Bunker has now started in the main of Terror.
Yeah, looks like the bunker will finish on time before those 6 Zerglings will be starting to do some damage.
Oh, he ran in.
Ooh.
Terror's running into the main. Their Hydra Den is not done. Lings are not being built. And that pool does not help Action at all. Action is probably like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Action did not know this proxy 8 racks was right next to his natural base. But finally, he Action realized that 6 Zerglings cannot do much of a damage, so he's going to be bringing all those Zergling back. But does he know where the proxy factory is? I don't think so.
No, he doesn't, but he knows that this is a proxy factory follow-up because that's the only build that makes sense after exposing an 8 racks and seeing tech like this. So you can see that the first Hydra's popping out at the natural. Now this is interesting because Terra is just continuing to all in with it. A proxy starport too, and that is, you know, Wraith don't even hit ground that hard, so I'm a bit surprised at this follow-up.
Yeah, he definitely saw that there's a Hydraless Den at the main base, no lair tag whatsoever. But I'm not sure why he's making a starport there. But looks like Terra's gonna be squeezing all those resources for Marine production and the Vulture. I think he's gonna be busting Action's natural before the number of Hydrals is gonna be large.
Yeah, he's going to try and do that, but losing all of his Marines, that's a lot of DPS loss. You can see that the Vultures are continuing to be pumped out. Slight supply block for Terra, but now he becomes unblocked. And as I mentioned before, he is completely all in with this, but at the same time, Action's not exactly transitioning into the mid game that well either. He's got a low drone count. He's got Hydras are going to be pounced on, but there's just too many of them. 5 already built, and that's going to be another Vulture popping. And with that second Vulture popping, probably the hopes and dreams of Terra are down the drain.
Yeah, Action is going to be constantly making all of the Hydraless, and looks like the Hydraless speed is now done. And gonna be pushing all those Vulture and Marine all the way back to the 3 o'clock side. Oh no.
He has found the factory, and now Vultures just instantly die as they pop out. And that's going to be half the production gone for Terror.
It looks like one of the Wraith will be picking up 1 drone, but it's already lowered down to 20 HP. He needs to be really careful. But all of the buildings are out on the map. The main base is pretty much empty. And Action is going to be sending those 6 Hydralisks and going for the harassment there.
Yeah, and remember, there's only 1 Marine in that bunker. And of course, the bunker doesn't have siege tank range. So the Hydra's probably just going to sit behind this mineral line, and Terra's not going to be able to mine anymore. Range is about to complete for the Hydras. So that's going to shut down the mineral line completely. There it goes, exactly as I said, and now Terra's just kind of dead.
Wow. Now, this is pretty much terrifying. Terra cannot really mine the mineral. He's losing lots of mining time. He really wants to bust the natural... Oh, Action does not have much of an army.
Yeah, he doesn't have that much army, surprisingly. There's 1 Hydra. What am I watching?
Okay, he's gonna be canceling the lair tech.
Look at this. Actually, this is forcing Action to turn around. I can't believe it.
Oh, both of the players got supply blocked.
If Terra gets a bunker up at the minerals, he will be able to shut down this mineral. And there's a nice drone pull. Can Terra do it? I'm so surprised that this is this exact scenario, but now Hydra's back, and there's just a little bit too many Hydralisks, and GG comes out. So that's 8-0.
Wow. It was super nice try, but constantly losing that a single Vulture every single time, I think that cost him a game. If he waited a bit longer and wait for those the number of a Marine and a Vulture goes large, I think he would have been able to do more damage, but it did not work really well.
Yeah, just unfortunately, it looks like the Foreigner... Well, we don't know the exact order that Foreigners got sent out, but Terra was not expecting to see an aggressive build from Action, and as soon as the pool first came down, everything was a disaster for him, and you can see why. Iraq's not an ideal opener versus pool first, and now this is it. This is the last game of the day. It's all of the hope of the Foreign All-Stars remains on Bonnet, and it's going to be Ringing Bloom. I hate this map, man. I actually hate it. I feel like there's so many times you go for a fast Nexus or a fast Command Center in my scenario, then you get all in. Or reverse scenario, you play a normal build and they get away with like 12 Nexus or just an absurd build. So it may be a bit of a coin flip here whether Bonnet can get a great build order opener versus Action.
It looks like Bonnet really likes to play on a Ringing Bloom, because last week he picked the Ringing Bloom to play against Rush, and he's gonna be picking Ringing Bloom once again, playing against Action.
Yep, this is the last match of the day. Action up 8-0. We already saw the Terran squad 9-0, the foreign team, and there's only 2 more days remaining. So if Foreigners want to get a victory, they only have half the amount of games remaining. That's it. And it's looking so far like Foreigners might not get a single win, which would be a bit heartbreaking, really. Now we have cross spawns. It is Ringing Bloom. So talk to me a little bit about, I guess, the Zergs Opener here. What are they looking for in ZVP? Are they somebody that goes for the back hatch quickly? Are they going to go for an early pool? We've seen Action go for early pool all day long.
I personally think Action is not gonna go with the early pull first, because this map Ringing Bloom it's easy to it's easy to wall off with the single gateway with the forge, and it's also a high ground as well with the entrance. So I don't think the early pull will work against Prada. So I have a feeling Action is gonna be starting off with the 12 hatchery most likely, and Bonus is also gonna go for the gateway opener first. He's gonna be building the pylon at the Rem.
Yeah, I agree with that, but as we've been talking,
Oh no, Action.
loves pull first every time. And as we were talking about, or as you were talking about it, I was thinking like this might be a good map for Bonnet to go for his patented one base style, you know, where he goes for either a Reaver or 2-gate Zealot followed up with a Nexus behind it. And I guess we'll have to wait and see if he wants to go for that. But so far, it looks like Action's just plan these days is I'm either going to kill you with early aggression, or I'm just going to use my early pool opener to just make sure I don't die to any shenanigans that you could potentially pull out. Now that probe is going to build another pylon in the main, so it's not going to be a second gate follow-up.
Yeah, I think Action is pretty much confident and just realized foreign players is not as good as the Korean players, so you just want to pretty much start off with the pull first, not giving the advantage, all those possibility that foreign players can do all-in style. He does not want to lose to those, so I think that could be the reason why Action is constantly doing the pull first and doing 9 pull once again in this game.
Yep, but we see that Action is not going to get a first scout off, of course, because this is cross spawn. Bonnet scouted pretty damn fast. So he's going to come in here and see at least the Lings coming out. Now, he should recognize that this had to be a 9-pull opener. We can see that the Zealot instantly turns around, and as you mentioned, this is high ground, a gateway forge. So the Lings really shouldn't have great success here. However, we saw the gateway get taken out on Eclipse versus Oyaji. So I wonder if... Oh, is he going to get the drone?
Oh.
He almost gets it.
I was thinking whether Action is gonna do the Sunken Rush. Looks like it's gonna be the Sunken Rush. He's gonna be jumping inside of the... Oh no. We are seeing Sunken Rush here because the Forge is not done by Bonnet.
Yeah, so how do you stop this in this situation from Bonnet? Because he's not reacting at all. I don't
He
see
does
any
not
poke.
he does not know the Sunken Colony.
He didn't see it.
He's not paying attention. I feel like this is over. There's no cannon. The Sunken is about to be done in the next couple seconds. The third Zealot will popping up, but he really needs to lure down that Sunken Colony's HP.
How does he not see it? Like, this creep's expanding, but he's just... Okay, well, the Lings are dying, and there's one Zealot left over, a couple Lings. Oh my god, now Lings can just run into the main.
Oh, the Sunken is pretty much focused hard again on the pylon. Not gonna be letting that fourth Zealot popping out from the gateway, I suppose. Oh my...
Yeah, so this is genius moves from Action.
Oh, no, Zealot.
Oh my god, the gateway was so close to finishing the Zealot.
Wow.
And behind this, Action is just taking bases. Like, he's not all in Ling, he's not sending extra drones. So this is just an amazing opener from Action. However, I have to say that Bonnet's Nexus is up quite quickly, and the Lings, you know, they're not going to get in the main and kill any workers, I don't think. All this cannon is really, or all this Sunken is really going to do is kind of knock
Zealot.
the wall. Why can that Zealot not attack it?
Yeah, the Zealot, no, the Zealot just came up as soon as that pylon finished, so it's nice to have the second Zealot, but it's already lowered down to 15 HP, so that's definitely not looking great.
Well, Hydra Den follow-up for Action. So everything looks like what we've seen all day long. That's something
Wow.
to take the forge. He wants to make sure that that gets taken down, and that actually would make me panic a little bit if I was Protoss, because what are you actually going for by making by eliminating the forge quickly? But we see that the probe is back in the main of Zerg. Seeing that, it is just going to be the powering coming out from our Zerg player. It's not going to be a Hydra.
Oh no. Bonnet is not paying attention. He has two probes either at the top side of the main base, but that's not going to be looking great. He wants to mine those probe and get all those resource income and start pumping out lots of units and clear all those Sunken Colony.
Well, despite the initial opener looking really abysmal, Citadel timing is somewhat fast, 525 Citadel. He's got his Nat up and running. Meanwhile, Action, of course, has 3 bases up and running. Forge got taken down, so +1 weapon's going to be a bit delayed. And as you mentioned, those 2 probes still not mining. It's heartbreaking to see that.
Oh no, what are those zealots doing? Okay, finally he is attacking. Does he not know how to attack? Looks like he'll be able to pick off that thing calling. Nicely done. But yeah, once again, we're not gonna be seeing Stargate. Looks like foreign players do not like to make Stargate as soon as they see Hydralistan. It's weird.
Yeah, so it is just going to be straight Citadel. Speed is coming in, so unlike the other 2 Protoss players, it's not going to be ranged this time. Gateway timing is, I think, pretty fast for how the game has flowed. Now finally those 2 probes have been spotted, and he is going to start mining again. I wonder how many gates Bonnet is going to go up to, whether he's going to go into Stargate like you mentioned. I don't see Templar Archive anywhere. I find that a bit surprising since he has his 2nd gas already up and running. But as I say that, he's just pulled off of gas at his Nat. It looks like this is just going to be Mass Zealot Man.
So we are seeing 3 different strategies by Protoss. Dewalt started with the Dragon range. Who was it? Oya did a robotic facility first to defend the Hydralistan. Hydralis rush, and Bonus responds to those no alert tech into Hydralis. He went for Citadel Vadun. So let's see who's gonna be right with the build order decision making.
Well, this Hydra timing window I think has come and gone. It would be different if it was a map like Polypoid where he can get on top of the cannons instantly and he has vision. But with Ringing Bloom having the high ground, you don't have vision really, and those eggs sitting there, I think that this is a bit of a misstep here from Action. But of course behind this, he's got a good drone count. He's got his macro hatches coming up. He's got his evolution chamber already done, so he's starting +1 weapon himself. But his lair is considerably slow. It's just now started really. Uh-oh, there's a drone up here. What's this about? Okay, looks like it is
it's Mass Rallied, yes. It looks like he'll be seeing all the Zealot moving out with the Speed Zealot, so it looks like it's going to be pulling back. +1 attack is starting by Action.
Yeah, so that is going to be a block onto Action, and that could be painful. You see that Sunkens are now starting to be morphed at his 3rd base. SimCity is pretty nice though, so I don't think Bonnet is going to have much success with this attack. Meanwhile, Lair is about to finish, so we're going to see Fire coming down pretty soon. But that is a 30 supply lead for Bonnet already. He could start thinking about taking his mineral or his low ground base, and that looks like exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there's a 1 probe standing at the 3rd, but I'm not sure whether this is a good strategy, because just pure ground army, just like how Oya was doing, Dewalt was doing, and now Bonus is doing it with the Citadel Vadun.
Well, the Zealots just run through and they get on top of a couple of the Hydras, but the Sunken support is going to help quite a bit, but this hits before +1 weapon of the Hydras. Meanwhile, Protoss does have +1 weapon, and he's dealing a decent amount of damage, but instead he is going to back off with some of his Zealots, while meanwhile a couple are going to run into the main. I think that attack was okay for Bonnet, but I'm surprised that the Nexus hasn't gone down just yet for him. He only has 4 gates. That's what makes me worried.
I'm also worried about not going about. Okay, it looks like, yeah, Bonus is going to be adding a Stargate. He's going to be making a couple of Corsairs. That's what I wanted to point out. Not having any Corsair is just pretty much making Zerg to play super easy. He's not going to be getting any of Overlord harassment. And Action is going to be easily switching to another tech like what is it, Spire or Lurker drop. Any kinds of crazy stuff, but yeah, it looks like Bonus is going to be making a couple of Corsair with the Stargate.
Well, we're going to have a counterattack from Action. His +1 weapon is going to kick in pretty soon. Cannons are not set up on the low ground. Also, as I mentioned, gateway count is a bit lacking, so this this small Hydra attack should have success, surprisingly. Zealots are going to be caught out of position just a little bit. You can see that Boneth realizes that he just doesn't have enough to fight this army. He is going to back off. Oh, I guess he suspects he has enough now. Oh, goodbye.
Oh no, Corsair! It looks like there's going to be 2 Storm ready.
That's a good storm. It forces all the Hydras into the Zealots, and sure, he's going to lose one of the Templar, maybe even 2 of the Templars, but I think that was not bad.
It wasn't a bad trade for both players, I suppose, but I honestly don't know.
Well, look at all these hatches that Action has. He's got 7 hatches coming. He's got mid-right going up pretty soon. Just now, the gateways are coming in. It looked like Boneth kind of couldn't make a decision on whether he wanted to expand or build gates. Now the gateways are coming in way, way, way too late. I think if he had committed to just gates, he could have followed up with a lot of goons right now, but now that time has kind of come and gone, and that's going to give Action this 4th base at the mid-right.
Yeah, looks like just going for the pure army, like pure Zealot, the gateway unit, without using Corsair in the beginning. It's just pretty much making Action to play comfortable in this game. Now he's going to be sending all those Oboler to the top side, pretty much spreading all those Oboler to have those map vision.
Yeah, the probe does get picked off at the 3rd base, so it's going to... Oh, he sends another one instantly. Meanwhile, 8th hatch is going up at mid-right, so Action really powering very hard. I'm trying to get a look to see if there's a Spire anywhere. I don't see it, so there is just flat out no Scourge, no Mutalisk, and even though double Evolution Chamber is set up at the 3rd base, Action's still just going hard on... Oh, he already got +1 armor. I didn't even realize, so he is going double upgrades also.
It looks like Bonus is finally taking that 3rd expansion. And with those number of Corsairs, I don't know, he's really not doing anything. He's not picking up any Obolers, he's not scouting. If he was not gonna do anything with those Corsair, I think it would have been better to use the Dark Archon, because it can be used to the Mutalisk, it can be used to the Hydralisk, or any kinds of bio units like Zerg units, but finally the Corsair is going to be doing some of the work, pushing all those over the back, but gotta be careful, all those Corsairs will get picked off. Oh my.
Well, not only do the Corsairs get picked off, but one of the strongest points of Protoss is having the upgrade advantage, and if you look in Bonus main, Forge is not spinning, so the longer this game goes, the higher the upgrade advantage is going to be for Zerg, because +2 weapon is more than halfway done. That's kind of a whiff on the Storm.
It looks like 1-1 upgrade is done for Bonnet. One of the High Templars that had a 130-ish energy got picked up by the Hydralisk, but it's still not looking great for Bonnet in my opinion. The number of Dragoons count is still low. He needs to start making more Dragoons so he can start moving out, but the number of Hydralisks is starting to get large and large.
Yeah, even though this is a 30 supply lead for Action, you have to remember that he's on 8 hatch. He's going to have upgrade advantage. Only thing that's lacking is no Spire. There's no 5. Okay, that's another whiff on the Storm. And meanwhile, those Hydras at the top side of the map, we're just dishing out a lot of damage to the Zealots without any fear of getting stormed themselves. You can see the multitask is crazy and the micro is just absolutely absurd from Action, able to control both sides of the map with so many Hydras. Now that's finally a great storm hitting a lot of the Zerg army, but +2 weapon is about to kick in. And you're going to see that a lot of the Protoss army just instantly gets evaporated by those heavy upgrades.
Yeah, I think it looks like Action is buying some time and trying to get that +2 attack done before there's gonna be the major fight at the middle of the map. But looks like the left side of the Hydralisk try to buy some time. We'll be picking up one of the High Templars. Once again, that's nicely done by Action. But Bonnet just seems like he's struggling.
Yeah, and as I said, Forge is still not spinning, so he's just committed on 1-1, and that is not what you want versus Zerg. Zerg is controlling their Hydralisk so well. He's going to go for a backstab, and let's see what Boneth wants to decide. Is he going to go for the save on the third base, or is he just going to commit? Looks like he is going to move back and save his base. Another pickoff onto the Templar there, but Boneth, oh no, the Hydras still somehow sneak away.
It looks like Boneth split up his army somewhat at the bottom side, but those leftover Dragoon, they will get cleared up easily by the number of Hydralisks. This is insane. The number of Hydralisk count is so large, and just gonna be constantly pumping out Hydralisk. How many hatcheries is this? 7? 4, 6, yes.
It's 8 hatches.
Oh wow, 8.
Crazy amounts of production. And Boneth gets his fourth base denied. 2-2 is done for Zerg now. Now, Zerg does need to get a hive if he's going to go for a 3-3, but look how many Hydras he has, man. He just has so many Hydras, and now Protoss is going to get flanked from all angles. This isn't even the entirety of Zerg's army. Now he's going to see all these Hydras coming in from the right side at the same time units coming in from the left side. Now, how many storms available does he have? It looks like he only has 3, so they have to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the number of Corsairs that he invested in the beginning, I think it just became meaningless. And once again, those Corsairs just flying in, just taking the damage for nothing. One of the Observer will get picked up, but are we seeing any Lurkers? I don't see any Lurkers.
Oh no, and the last stair gets taken out, and Hydras are just picking apart this army. There's almost no Zealots left over. It's just pure Goon and Storm, but there's not many Storms left over. It's now, remember, Boneth had a 30 to 40 supply lead a moment ago. Now it's even.
So it looks like action is pretty much flanking from the both sides.
Yeah, and look at top middle. There's 12 Hydras. Why are there 12 Hydras at top middle, man?
Oh,
they are there, and they deny the fourth base. Boneth is about to be mined out in his main and natural, and he's going to be down to 1 base mining versus a Zerg that still has all of his bases and has upgrade advantage and has 8 hatches. He has as many hatches as Protoss has gateways.
Yeah, this is definitely not looking great for Boneth. 2-2 upgrade is done for action. They're just pretty much having those 5 with the number of okay, now action has 9 hatchery total. He just made an extra hatchery right next to the third o'clock expansion. So this is looking insane. Only Hydralisk.
Yeah, you don't need Lurkers. You just need the Hydra button to just pick apart these Protoss players. Now, Action's control is just nuts because he's managing so many Hydras at the same time. Bottom side, top side, right side, dodging all the storms. Looks like those were finally some good connections. Now it is starting to get scary because Goons in an overwhelming amount can be very effective, but since they're down in upgrades, oh man, and now he's just getting picked apart. Those Hydras at the top are coming down now too.
Yeah, those storms were nice, but the number of Hydralisks is just too large. Every single storm, they are doing great amount of damage, but oh my god, Action is just pretty much bringing all the army, just like how StarCraft did, like select all army and then attack mode. And it looks like Action is going to be flanking all those Boneth army, and Boneth really cannot use his money right now. He's still having those floating mineral and floating gas, and he's still not expanding. This is not looking great for Boneth.
Yeah, his +2 still hasn't finished, so he's still stuck at 1-1, and it's not like Action was going for 3-3. Action is still on Lair Tech. That's all he has. He doesn't have a Spire either. He doesn't have Lurkers. It's literally just pure Hydra Man and pure Lair Tech, and he's just making it look so easy. Action, I guess, should think about taking another base, bottom middle, but really, he doesn't have to because he knows Boneth is simply on 1 base right now.
Wow, the number of Hydralisks is so large.
It's so many.
So if we subtract that 140 supply, subtract 52 workers, that's like almost 100 of a Hydralisk. Oh my god.
Well, here comes Boneth from the side, but this is kind of a choke, and that's a good storm. That's another good storm. There's just not enough units.
Yeah, even if Boneth win that fight at the third expansion, Action is gonna be easily have another 4 groups of Hydralisks soon. And just gonna be moving out once again. This looks like a...
Yeah, he has 9 hatches, so literally he can make 2 groups of units in an instant. Meanwhile, Bonneth, he's desperate for a base now because both of the main and natural are gone. Probe is going to get picked off at top middle, so that's going to be another denial there. Action knows that all he has to do is just keep denying this base over and over, keep dwindling the army over and over, make sure Protoss doesn't get critical mass. Templars. Now finally 2-2 has completed for Bonneth, but it's too late.
Oh, 2-2. Okay, now he's also spending that what is it? Resource for 3-3 upgrade, but with this one base mining, I don't think this is gonna be looking great. But oh my god, the number of Hydralisks is so large, and Bonnet still cannot take the expansion yet.
Yeah, every time I just look at Action's third base, there's this huge clump of Hydras just sitting there and waiting. You think like what he has out on the map, you're like, oh, that's his whole army, and it's just half of it. I really just want to see him just A move, honestly. I just want him to just A move to top left. Just do it. He has so much stuff.
Wow, the number of Hydralisks is so...
It's crazy.
It's so large.
Well, I think that this is probably going to be the last attack. His Sonic just doesn't have the money. His Templars are in the back. They're not able to get into position for a storm. Meanwhile, Hydra's coming in from the back, might snipe on Templar. Now, this is a tiny choke, so the Hydras do have to be careful to not just eat a bunch of storms. So he is going to back off for now, and this might give Moneth a little bit of breathing room to finally get a base, but that exposes the third base, and now units that, if they want to save the base, have to come through a choke through the bridge.
I think Action realized that the Protoss army is so small, and he knows that there's no fourth expansion running, so it's just gonna be A moving. All those Hydralisks is pretty much moving forward and attacking, showing how much of a Hydralisk he has.
Yeah, wow. That is GG, and that was an obliteration. Just pure Hydras, no lurkers, no mute. He didn't even use any mutalisks to pick off the storm. He just had such good control, he could dodge it the entire time. And that means that Action 9-0'd all of the foreigners, and there was only 2 games that looked pretty good. It was Bonneth and Oyaji, but really, this last game was a blowout. The only game that really was close was the Oyaji game.
Yeah, he was also not using any of the lurker, only pure Hydralisks, and how great he is with the number of Hydralisks and showing those micro and constantly buying time. And I think Bonnet did not spend his resource really well that game, because he kept having all those mineral floating and gas floating when he really needed to spend all those money for expanding or more army and constantly going for the push, but everything was just too slow for Bonneth.
Yeah, there was that point in the game that I mentioned where it looked like Bonneth wanted to expand, and then he didn't. And then he didn't build gateways either. We were talking about how he ended up building stairs. I think the stair was fine because, of course, he doesn't know that there's not going to be a spire built the whole time. But I think he needed to make a decision right then and there. Am I going gateways or am I expanding? And because he kind of dilly-dallied on a decision, it kind of, well, I mean, Action probably still would have held because he's just amazing, but it didn't help him at all. But regardless, Action looks untouchable. You know, actually before the game started, I thought that Action might lose a game, but after watching it, I don't think so. So, yeah, that's going to be day 2 done already. Another 9-0. Just crazy how ridiculous the Korean players are. And they made it look easy. So, remember, guys, next week we're going to have another matchup. It's going to be the Protoss this time, and it's going to be Snow. Now, I know that players have gotten wins versus Snow before. You know, True Touch, I know, has taken down Snow. Bonnet, TT1, DeWalt have all taken down Snow. So there is a possibility that finally a foreigner will get on the board in that particular series. But, you know, Snow might be the best out of all of the players we've seen so far, so it's still going to be super hard.
Yeah, it looks... Action just pretty much showed how strong he is. He's an ASL player. Even though he didn't make it into round of 16 this season, but you cannot underestimate how great Action is, because didn't he beat Flash in season 9 or 10, I believe? Was it in season 9? I forgot. Oh, yeah, it was season 9. Didn't he beat... Did he beat? Did he beat Flash? I don't remember.
I feel like he didn't beat Flash. I think season 9 was him losing, or was Flash losing to Zero, and then I think that the last season, he played random.
Oh, I think it was 3-2. The score was really close.
Yeah,
but
it was close, but
yeah, it was really close. And yeah, Action is such a great player, even though he got eliminated in this season, round of 24. But yeah, he's showing how strong he is to foreign players, and not giving any chance, not letting them to do any kinds of all-in. He just wants to play more aggressively than how foreign players was prepared to play all those all-in strategy or aggressive style. But things did not work really well for an all-star team.
yeah, so a bit unfortunate, but I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, next week it's going to be Snow taking on the foreign team. Maybe they can finally get on the board, and then the final day is going to be 2 weeks from now, and it's going to be all of the players having a shot at one pro. Like, we're going to have a whole variety of pros. It's not just going to be Action and Snow and Sorry and Russia. It's going to be a whole bunch of players. I remember that like JYJ, for example, might be playing, Barracks might be playing. There's going to be tons of other pros playing. So maybe one of the foreign stars can get a win there too. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. It's going to be the end of the stream today. Make sure to tune in next week and see if a foreigner can take down Snow in one of the best of ones.
Right. See you guys next time, same time, but it's gonna be at the next week on a Friday if you live in the East. But if you live in Europe, or Japan or Korea time, then it's gonna be at Saturday. So it's gonna be streamed at the same time. So see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.